Are you struggling with addiction? Most men are shackled by chains they cannot see, addicted to destructive habits. Whether it's wasting hours in the void of video games, falling to the grasp of fapping, or poisoning their bodies with drugs, they've become prisoners of their own making. Yet, the greatest tragedy is their refusal to admit it. They wear excuses like armor. Fapping is healthy, bro. It prevents cancer. Or, video games sharpen the mind and build teamwork. Lies, hollow justifications, whispered to avoid confronting the enemy within. But the strongest among us refuse to live in denial. The best men stand tall, look their weaknesses in the eye, and declare war. For make no mistake, addiction is a battle, and you cannot win if you do not first acknowledge the war. Perhaps you've tried to break free before. You've listened to the so-called wisdom of the masses, followed their feeble advice, and yet here you are, falling back into the same traps. This isn't because you're weak, it's because the battlefield they've shown you is a lie. The strategies you've been taught are flimsy shields against an unforgiving storm. But this video, this is your turning point. This is your rallying cry. Here, we will lay out 5 battle-tested strategies to obliterate any addiction. I will not promise you an easy victory. Watching this alone will not save you, but if you take these words to heart, if you wield these weapons with resolve, you will not only survive, you will conquer. Number 1, harness hatred. Breaking free isn't about hiding from temptation or running from the fight. No, to destroy addiction, you must summon the most primal of emotions, hatred. True unrelenting hatred for the chains that bind you. This is not advice you will hear from the weaklings who dance around the truth. Society fears hatred, calling it a negative emotion. But in war, there are no negative weapons, only effective ones. The weeds of addiction cannot be cut down with kindness. It must be uprooted with fury. To do this, you must stare your addiction in the face and see it for what it is. A thief. Write down every ounce of destruction it has wrought upon your life, the energy it drains, the opportunities it steals, the shame it leaves behind. Turn its name into venom on your tongue, a bitter taste that fuels your rage. When temptation strikes, you'll be ready, armed to the teeth with hatred that burns hotter than the desire to relapse. But remember this, hatred is the sword that cuts down the enemy, but it does not heal the wounds. Addiction stems from emotions left unchecked, loneliness, boredom, greed. While hatred can destroy the chains, you must also seek to understand the root of your pain and mend it. Only then will you ensure no new chains take their place. Number 2, find your purpose. A man without purpose is a man adrift, clinging to fleeting pleasures as his ship sinks beneath him. But when a man discovers his purpose, his focus becomes a fortress, unshakable and impenetrable. Can you imagine a warrior like Elon Musk succumbing to the bottle? Or a UFC champion wasting his energy on meaningless distractions? No, their purpose is their shield, their anchor, their guiding star. If hatred is the spark that ignites your fight, purpose is the fire that keeps it burning. A man driven by purpose cannot afford to squander his strength on trivial pursuits. While finding your purpose may take time, once you do, it will become your most powerful weapon against addiction. Number 3, master the art of doing nothing. In the age of endless distractions, men have forgotten the power of stillness. We've been trained to grab pleasure at the first hint of boredom, to fill every moment with meaningless tasks. But the warrior who cannot sit alone with his thoughts is a warrior unprepared for battle. Purposeful stillness is a training ground for the mind. It teaches you to face boredom without reaching for crutches, to wrestle with discomfort and emerge stronger. Sit with your thoughts. Let the silence speak. Within it, you may find not only clarity but also the seeds of your purpose. Number 4, fight dirty. In the war against addiction, honor has no place. Temptation is ruthless, and so must you be. This is not a duel where you meet your enemy head-on. This is an ambush, a sabotage, a cunning assault. Distance yourself from the sources of temptation. Banish junk food from your home. Block the websites that feed your vice. Avoid the people who lead you astray. Change your environment so fairly that addiction finds no foothold. Make no mistake, this requires sacrifice, but every great victory demands it. Number 5. Move. The body is the battlefield, and movement is your ally. Addiction thrives in stillness, in lethargy, in the spaces where energy stagnates. But when you move, when you sprint, when you lift, swim, or fight, you starve addiction of its power. Exercise is more than a distraction. It is a weapon that sharpens the mind, releases natural endorphins, and strengthens your resolve. A man in motion is a man alive, untouchable by the claws of despair. This is your battle, your moment to rise. Will you falter, or will you fight? The choice is yours. If you are ready to forge a new path, join the ranks of warriors by hitting that like button and subscribing. Until next time, stay relentless.